Good morning. Oh, feeling rather tired and irritable today. Um, and if I'm quite honest, quite angry. So it's cold and it's bitterly cold at the moment, and the house we're in is just not adequate really heat wise. Uh, there's literally no heating in the place at all. But the other half keeps saying that's standard in Australia. It's not standard in Australia, not by modern standards at all. I mean, most modern houses are built with some form of heating. That's the truth. And we were at a friend's last weekend for Sunday dinner, and they had the house was lovely and warm actually, but they have what's called reverse cycle air conditioning. So it blows out hot air as well as cold, and it works really well. The aircon we've got in the house is literally just air conditioning, just cold air for the winter. Sorry, summer. And we've literally got to do something about it because it's just too much, and neither of us are getting any younger, and I the arthritis I suffer with is painful. It really is painful, especially in the cold weather. And this is why I've always said, I mean, I just want to live in a hot climate all year round. I just hate the cold, full stop. I don't know how we're going to solve it. I mean, I can't literally stay in bed with an electric blanket for the rest of my life. And as I get older, I'm going to suffer more and more with the cold. So basically, we just need to get a warmer place. I mean, look, there's stuff you can do. I mean, I'm not faffing around with electric fires and that like you used to do in the 1980s in the UK. That's just nonsense. So we either get, some form of heating put in the house, or we just buy another house, really, because it's too much. So I mean, this has been going on all week as well, and yeah, and I've had hardly any sleep. So when you've got the other half one side, me the other side, let your blanket on, then you've got a cat sprawled out in the middle of the bed. I'm left with a backache when I get up. I literally, when I check my app, my sleep app, last night I had 3 hours 45 minutes sleep, and that's just not sustainable over the long term, because it's just making me really, really bad. It's making me irritable and tired and ill, and yeah, it's not good. Really not good. And I mean, I know I worked late night last night anyway, which always plays havoc with my system because it just throws me out completely. So yeah, it's just not ideal. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to solve that one. I'm really not. Probably, I don't know. I think we should just buy another place really, and just yeah, because I can't stand it any longer. Um, so yeah, the other half has been pain this morning, absolute pain. And if he listens to this, good, because he does my head in. He had car key, went out to the car, come back in, and he's got this habit. I don't know why he does it, but he leaves stuff all over a bookcase in the dining room. Toothbrushes, car keys, vapes. It's just full of junk, and it winds me up. And he knows that, which is probably why he continues to do it, to be fair. And so anyway, he come in and he went to put his car keys on the bookcase and smashed something of mine on the bookcase. So I went mad, basically. I just said I've had enough. and I clean up all his stuff off the bookcase. I just keep it out of there. It's just ridiculous. It's a bookcase. It's not a bloody storage area for stuff. The toothbrushes, toothpaste, vapes. Why? Put it away. I mean, you shouldn't have vapes out anyway. God's sake. I mean, you've got 2 cats in the house. If they get hold of a vape, that's it. They're dead. They're gone. So put them away. So I was in the shop this morning. He's in the shop now. I'll come to work to get warm because it's lovely and warm here. In the centre, it's not. I mean, sometimes it's freezing here, but you know, generally, as a rule, it's nice and warm. So that's great. I can do the job. My hands don't hurt, which is lovely, and it's good. It's good. I'm not in the house. So somehow we've got to solve this problem. You know, he drops his keys because his hands are so cold. You know, got to do something about it. You know, I'm the same. I literally will walk around with a coat and gloves on because it's that cold. And I know what you're all saying in the UK. You don't know what cold's like. I mean, look, I do know what cold's like in the UK. I've lived in the UK. The central heating's lovely. Keeps you nice and warm. Yeah, so you don't suffer with the same things. We've got a house that was built in the year we got together, so 1994-5, that sort of era. At that point, no heating was put in houses at all. None. And I don't know whatever possessed Australia to do this. So they put no heating in houses when the winter here is particularly cold. You got to understand, Perth is basically a desert. So heat of the day, in the summer especially, it's blindingly hot. It's the hottest state in Australia. But at night, it can get freezing cold, desert temperatures in effect. So anyway, in their wisdom, when they built these houses, they decided to put no heating in, put aircon. But to be fair, we haven't actually used the aircon that much because the house itself is it's built for the hot temperatures. So it tends to, like, you know, keep the heat out somewhat. And, you know, I've lost my train of thought. But these houses are not up to, you know, today's standards in effect. And, you know, I can keep throwing money at doing different things, whether it be electrics or, you know, converting the aircon into a reverse cycle aircon or whatever. But really, is it going to be worth doing that, or should I just rent that place out and just buy another place? Because, you know, in my time of life, I can't be bothered. And the hassle and the work that would, you know, have to be done to make that possible would be unbelievable. So, I don't know. I'm in a real moany mood today, and yeah, it's not going to get any better today. I have a feeling today it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. I think I just need a break. So anyway, yeah, this week I just quickly wanted to talk about the pending nuclear war, just to make things even more fun, because deep down inside of me, and I've spoken about it many times before, I have a feeling we are heading towards Armageddon. Now, as my husband says, I tend to doom scroll, and I do. And one of my colleagues is actually a bit like me, and we were discussing this the other day. And as much as she's a wonderful person, I felt so down by the end of it. It was not true. But I know we're in Australia. We're not in Europe, where, you know, this European war's going on. But, you know, if there was a third world war, we'd all get dragged into it, because the world leaders we have at the moment are just so bloody useless, literally useless. Instead of fighting one another and constantly barracking one another, it's like a children's playground. Why don't they just talk? You know, it's not difficult. If you've got differences, talk. I know Putin's invaded Ukraine. He shouldn't have done it. We all know that. We know he's in the wrong, unless you're Farage, who he thinks he's not. But we all know he's in the wrong. But there must be another way out of this. Anyway, I decided to do a bit of prepping, so I bought this wind-up radio torch, and you could charge phones, not that there'd be any phones, and I probably wouldn't even be around to do it. But it comforts me and it makes me feel a bit, I don't know, safer. It feels like I'm doing something because of this situation, world situation, that I have no control over. I can at least control the fact that I have a wind-up radio. Shopping last week, I bought great big, I don't know what you call it. It's like a gallon thing of water to keep in the bottom of the pantry, just in case the worst happens. And people were saying to me, "It's Armageddon. You're not going to survive it. It's just not going to happen. So why are you doing this?" Well, for Europeans, it will be Armageddon, and you will be blown to bits. To be fair, but in Australia, the hope is at least we will survive or could survive. Who knows? So it's not going to be the same situation. And wind-up radio, torch, etc. That's good for many different things. I mean, you get bushfires here, and the government here advises you to have an emergency kit anyway. So that's just part of it. That's fine, whatever. So yeah, I've been I can't even think of the words. People taking the mick out of me for doing it. I don't care. It's just something I need to do, and yeah, if it makes me feel more content with life, that's fine. And I've got to stop doom scrolling, I know that. The trouble is, all these algorithms on the internet, so it doesn't matter what I search or what I even say in a conversation, it will pop up. And the prime example of that is YouTube. I've got my own YouTube account. I also watch YouTube videos probably more than television and the news. Really, I watch a lot of YouTube, and the YouTube itself is in tune with what I'm saying, sometimes what I'm thinking, and what I'm searching in Google. So as soon as I go onto YouTube, it's Armageddon, end of the world, what to do in the event of this, that and the other, how to prep and all the rest of it. So naturally, I just click on it and I have a look, and yeah. And it just makes my anxiety even bloody worse. I said bloody a few times today, and I don't normally do that, so I apologise, Google, because you're paying my wage, and I think bloody's fine. I think that's suitable. I tell YouTube that it's not for children anyway, so I can say bloody, bloody, bloody as much as I want, because today I want to. That's all I have to say. It's Friday, chilly outside. It's not raining at least. Mind you, when it rains, it's a bit warmer, so that's kind of nice. But another one last moan. Shoes. No shoes in Australia are built for the rain. So it doesn't matter what you buy, whether it be Skechers or whatever, they will leak like mad. Now, consider putting plastic bags in my shoes or whatever, but you cannot buy leak-proof shoes. And it rains. Doesn't rain a lot, but when it rains, it really does. I think the difference is I walk, trying to keep fit and healthy. Everyone else has got their big monster trucks, huge, giving off so much CO2 emissions, it's untrue. And Australia's known for that. It's so much like America in that level. The cars are massive, absolutely massive. And the pollution is just, well, yeah, unbelievable. Anyway, I need to log off before I just say too many swear words that I shouldn't. But have a wonderful Friday. I hope it's better than mine. And speak to you next week. Ciao.